Boom. And we're rolling. All right. I'm going to show you guys how to set up a simple planetary industry setup thing. Yeah, I've got a couple of them going at the moment. We're going to need them for building some of the Tech 2 rigs that we have in our doctrine, and as well we use them to make some of the stuff that we sell just for profit. So there's kind of two directions you can go with it. I have 4 set up at the moment. I took 2 of them off because I had kind of drained the planet of the resources. And I deleted them so that I could re-put them up and show you guys how to do it. First, I will show you my setups real quick, and then I will show you guys how to find good planets, and then I will show you guys how to make them. So first of all, what we have set up, I have 3 extracting planets and 1 manufacturing planet. You can decide if you like the idea of splitting this up and doing manufacturing and extracting on 1 planet, but I have kind of found that it works best to use extracting it by itself on a single planet and then to consolidate everything onto 1, because the extractors take a lot of power, and so you can't really you'll see what I'm talking about. So on this one over here, I need to reset up the extractor ran out of its allotted time. So these things use up a good majority of the power that you get out of your command center. And so if you're going to use the extractor, you want to be able to use it to its fullest capabilities and use all of the nodes. But if you have anything else pulling power out of the command center, it's only going to let you use 1 or 2 of these little node things, and then the extractor doesn't really do anything. So you're kind of you're doing it all at once, but you're really slowing it down. You can only make a little bit. You can only make a little bit of what you were trying to do. But then again, you do save on planetary exports and stuff. So there's kind of a balance to be made, but so far what I found is this is the cheapest way to do it. So I'm just going back through here and resetting the extractors I have set up. So on these 3 planets I'm pulling, I'll show you guys my this is the plan for 1 mobile depot. Mobile depot is something we build and sell for profit. It's not for a doctrine fleet or anything. It's got some, what do you call it? Some input materials that are also out of the asteroids and stuff, but it's really, really small. It's only a couple thousand, I think. And the rest of it comes out of planetary industry. So if we can pump these bad boys out, they sell for $1 million a piece, and we can make them for almost free, really. Don't know why this is so difficult for me to find. Nope, I don't know how to play this game. Industry, give me that. God, that was difficult. So you see, come on now, baby. One of them only takes 5,000 trite, 200 pyrite, 400 ziderite. That's actually kind of a bottleneck, but we could purchase that stuff. That's kind of another issue. The rest of it is all planetary industry stuff. Some 4 different Tech 3 items. 3 of the first 2, 1 of the second 2. So in total it's 8 Tech 3s. We can make these for no cost other than the cost it takes to export them off the planet, which is negligible. when it comes to selling each one of them for $1 million. So what I have set up here and what I have on the left here are, this is the basic recipe for one, broken down from Tech 3, Tech 2, Tech 1. I don't have the raw resources on here because I knew what I needed, but I think that they are... Yeah, the raw resources aren't on here. But these are all things that you create from raw resources. So there's 4 steps. You pull fuck, I can't say that word. You pull raw resources out of the planet, turn them into Tech 1s. Tech 1s go to Tech 2s, and so on. So we need 8 Tech 3s, which means we need 20, 40, 60, 80 Tech 2s, which comes out to roughly 2,000 Tech 1s, which is going to be like 60,000 raw resources. So that's doable for one person. It's not very profitable for one person based on the amount of time you put in, but if we join forces on it, it makes us a lot of money. So after I get my raw resources off of these 3 planets, I import them into this planet here, which is my manufacturing hub. If it's gonna fucking load. So what we got going on here is the central command center. It branches out into basic industry factories all around it. It brings the basic industry materials as like the Tech 1 stuff back into this storage facility, pumps them over to the advanced factories over here where it's making Tech 2s, stores Tech 2s here, and then it will bring them back and make Tech 3s, store Tech 3s here. This is the launch pad, which gets it off. So this is what a basic manufacturing setup looks like. It is only upgraded up to level 4, which means I still have 2 upgrade levels left to, I could probably double this. As of now, this probably cost roughly 7 to 10 million to make. Each one of these upgrade levels is about $1 million. The launch pad's $1 million. These are 250,000 a piece, so that's $1 million. This is roughly another $1 million and things. So the setup is the biggest cost. It's not necessarily cheap. These extracting sites are much cheaper. The most expensive thing here is the launch pad. It's about $1 million. So we will have the command centers themselves that you guys need to set the planets up in the hangar, so you can just pop one of those out. They're only a couple $100,000, so it's not too bad. And then once you set one up, the costs kind of scale with how far you want to take it. We haven't decided exactly if it's going to be easier for everybody to pull raw resources and just send those, or to make it up to like Tech 1s, or if it's going to be easier for everybody just to make all the way up to Tech 3s. We kind of haven't decided. That's going to be something we'll experiment with, but for starters, you're just going to want to get some extractors running, and I can show you guys how to do that now. So I'm in the Naga actually, wrong ship. I have pulled some of the command centers out of the module hangar that we had. I have at the moment 1 barren lava and 1 temperate. There are, I believe, 9 different planet types, but we're not going to get access to all those until well, actually we get access to 8 of the 9 in HiSec, but for what we're doing now, we really only need like 4, I think. That was cool. I just spilled coffee over myself. A lot of the materials on the planets overlap, so you can get some of the same stuff off of the same planet, so you don't have to, like, you'll see what I'm saying. You don't exactly have to like go to a entirely new planet just to find a resource. We can get, for example, of these. This is the basic setup for the mobile depots. I don't know know if you guys can see that. I'll try to make it easier to see. We can get one of the things off of temperate planets. We can get 5 of them off of lava planets, 2 off of the barren planets, and we need the gas planet for 1. At the moment, I have it set up on lava and barren, and I'm considering buying these because we don't need much of them, and we only need them for 1 thing. That's probably going to be worth buying rather than setting up an entire compound on our gas planet just for that. But we're going to need the temperate planets anyway because they have the access to the advanced industry facilities. And it's the only place you can get industrial fibers. So, depending on what type of planet you want to find, you're going to go to the agency. This is the easiest way I've found so far, at least. Resource harvesting, planetary industry over here on the right. So it's going to bring you a breakdown of all the planets in the nearby systems. Most of what I have set up at the moment is in Jormalabajmalod. Don't know how to say that word. Hjormold. Hjormold. It's very like Viking, huh? This place had a lot of planets that I needed, as well as, yeah, this is just a good spot. It wasn't very far away. And it had everything I needed. I don't know why I didn't put anything. I believe I just didn't like the composition of the planets that were nearer. When you're looking at them, you can see a general base scan of how much they contain of each individual resource you're looking for. So in Ender, for instance, we have 8 planets. Some temperates, some barrens. I needed a lava. That's might be why I left. I guess we could go put another one in. I need another lava planet. God, that shit's non-existent there. See, I need this magma. That's why I ended up looking fucking everywhere, because there's no places around here that have a good store of that. I don't really need any of that shit, to be honest with you. So I'm just looking through the resources, trying to find a planet that looks good for what I need. Most of the stuff I need is on lava planets, but I don't really want to just separate myself between too many systems because it makes picking everything up a fucking chore. I guess I don't have any temperate ones over here, huh? What do you get off temperates? Autotrophs, water. Fuck it, we'll go there. Okay, yeah, we're gonna set up a temperate one. It's a couple jumps away.
Warp drive active.
Oh, is it? This is gonna take a second. I don't understand why the brightness is so low. That's why. So once you get an idea of what planet you're looking for, you're going to want to warp to the customs office. I guess that won't make sense until I get into system, but I'll just show you guys this now too. Once you get to the planet you're looking for, you're going to want to scan it. Scanning it shows you the location of all of the different items you're looking for. That doesn't really do it justice. Yeah, this is a better one to look at. You can kind of screw around with it here, although I just usually have it turned all the way up. This is the lowest sensitivity, so it's going to show you where with the least amount of accuracy. This is going to be the most accurate. But obviously this planet doesn't have much water, so it's easier just to know where you're going. This does just fine. Once you get that scan down, you're going to want to decide where to best locate your command center, depending on what you're looking to extract. Like in this case, you would, if you're looking for noble metals, you'd want to pop it in one of these white hot zones. For some of the things, it just doesn't really matter. The planet's full of them. But you kind of want to give this a look before, just so you don't end up putting yourself in the middle of the desert with nothing. These will deplete as you extract resources. You can run a planet dry. Like you see here, I'm already starting to get water. It is about to be out of here. But it takes a while, so it's not something you have to deal with like very often. Alright, so I wanted to go to the temperate planet. If you have not put anything on the planet yet, the easiest way to find out how to get back there is to go to the agency again. And just use this menu over here. Absolutely absurd. What is this? They have none? Give me a fucking break. You know what? I'm just putting another lava planet up. That's what we need. I'm not doing a temperate. Lava, 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 lava. Lava, 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 lava. Come on, you motherfucker. Planetary industry can be kind of boring, not gonna lie, but it is pretty passive income, and you can set these extractors and stuff to last for, up to a fucking week, and you don't have to come check it but once every few days if you don't want to. What the fuck is this thing doing out here? Holy shit. Son of a bitch, you gotta be fucking with me. Who's this fucking guy? Dude, I'm literally doing nothing. Get your fucking hurricane out of my mouth. God damn it. Oh yeah, this is sick. What do you want, fuck dickhead? Nope. Piloto. I'm gonna pretend like I speak Spanish. ¿Qué quieres, puto? Lo siento, tú sabes que te amo. Just leave me alone. Am I getting targeted by this little fucker? God damn it, what's happening? Alright, you know what? I think we're okay. Oh, he answered us. Morning. It's late afternoon, my friend. No habla inglés. Lo siento. Tú sabes que te amo. I'm sorry, please just know that I love you. Don't hurt me. Okay, we're gonna do a little clicky here, a little view planetary industry. Now we've got ourselves a planet that looks like it's just been fucking wrecked. My god. This is a sad place to be. Scan fucking no magma at all. That breaketh my heart. Alright, we'll just go for this shit then. I think I like right here. So you're going to go to, there's a build and a scan option. First you're going to need to have a command center of the corresponding type in your inventory. lava command right there. You're gonna build yourself a lava command center, pop it right down in the middle, bop. And then before you hit submit, you can still scan everything, make sure that you're sitting in a good spot. Everything looks good. I'm popping it down. Parlez-vous français? That's Spanish, dude. I'm not speaking French. Alright, I'm just gonna switch straight to German. Nope, Russian. Yep. Dobre utro. I don't know what that means. Oh, you son of a bitch. What the fuck is targeting me? Well, we're not gonna be, we're not gonna stay here anymore.
Warp drive
I'll be back.
active.
You motherfucker. That's a disappointment, isn't it? Oh, man. We actually did all we needed to do, though. Once you pop down that base camp, you're good to go. Fuck that searcher drone motherfucker. You can do everything except use the launch pad. I said that wrong. You can do everything in system. When you leave the system, you can still do everything except use the launch pad. So you can still change industrial recipes and extractor stuff from far the fuck away. Oh, that son of a bitch. I haven't lost this Tyra ever. I've had this ship since I started. Cocksucker. You better not be fucking following me. Oh wait, no, that was an NPC. He ain't following me. Alright, so we're just going straight back to PI here, bud. Now, this is not a short video anymore, is it? Fucking A. Once you get your command center down, let's see here, we're going to go for, what do I need? That's a good question. I am picking up at the moment heavy magma base non-CS and magma. Alright, so I need suspended plasma, to be honest with you. I need some suspended plasmas. We're going to build an extractor control unit here, bud. And you're just going to want to pop it in close, because the farther out you go, the more it's going to cost you in power. You're going to have to build a link between the two, and the links cost power. So as long as that big circle around it means where you can extract from. If you can still hit some white hot zones in that circle and stay close, stay as close as possible. So I'm going to pop it in right here. And then you're going to want to create a link between the two. Go down to create link, click, click. Now we're going to submit. 45,000. Now we're going to grab our extractor unit, install extraction program on the left here. 1, 2, 3, 4, as many as you can. These all cost power. You see at one point it says I cannot construct another one. It would dangerously overload your command center's power core. So I can do 6. You can do 6 nodes on one extractor with a level 1 command center. You're probably not going to be able to build a storage facility though. So if I pop one of those off, I'm going to pop one of them bad boys off. And we're at 89.5% power over here. So we're going to start looking for some suspended plasma. This right here is the amount of time that you want to extract for. And you can see on the right down there at the bottom, it makes the size of your circles grow. So that's how large of an area you're going to extract over the amount of time. For instance, this is about 2 days. This is 2 hours. So I usually set it to a day. One day, start extraction. And now the problem is it's not going to be routed. You have to route your stuff somewhere. You have to store it somewhere. So you're going to have to build a storage facility. You're going to want to keep that close as well. Oh, so I can't even put in a storage facility with 5 nodes. So what you're going to have to do when you start running into power problems like this is you're going to upgrade your command center. The first upgrade is pretty cheap. about 580,000. It gives you an extra few thousand megawatts of power. I'm going to submit that. So we're at about $600,000 so far, not including the cost of the command center, which varies per planet, but we should have most of those on hand for you guys. So from here, I'm going to build a storage facility. I'm actually going to turn this scan off because it's making it hard to see. I'm going to build a storage facility. I'm going to keep it close. I'm going to create a link between the two. Submit that. It's an extra 250 grand. So we're nearing around $1 million now. About 850,000. Once we get that storage facility in, we're going to take our extractor back. We're going to go to products, click on the product. You can either click create route or you can just double click straight on the product. But you're going to create the route. God damn it, move. You're going to create the route and it's going to ask you to select the destination. You're going to click on the storage facility, create route. Every time you do something new, you have to submit, or you can submit all of it at the end, but submitting finalizes it. So as of now, this is extracting suspended plasma. You can check the routes here on the right. It is outgoing, passing through the command center into a storage facility. You can see the routes here that it's incoming. So now if you were going to want to build a basic facility, an industry facility, you'd pop one in close like that, get your link, submit. And when you get onto here, you have a full list of ingredients and recipes for a basic industry facility. It brings in raw resources and creates a Tech 1. You can see what your raw resource is able to build right here. It's going to tell you. It says that suspended plasma is able to create Tech 1 plasmoids. So you're going to take these and you're going to look for plasmoids, install it, and then you're going to have to do the same thing again which you did with the extractor. You're going to have to route the product back to the storage facility. Create the route, double click storage facility, submit. Last step for industry on a planet is you have to supply the input materials, which is what we're getting out of the extractor. Now if we don't have the extractor having run a full cycle yet and the input materials aren't in our storage facility, usually you'll find them here. You'll just create a route with them. You're going to have to go to the routes and you'll see that they're already incoming, and you can use that to create the route instead. But either way, you have to set a route for input materials and export materials for everything that's running, unless it's an extractor, in which case the input materials are already handled. So that would be a basic setup for an extractor, storage facility, and one industry facility, pumping out some Tech 1s. Now you could do advanced industry facilities, which advanced industry facilities do take Tech 1s and make them into Tech 2s, and you can also take Tech 2s and make them into Tech 3s. Now you cannot get a, what is it, like a hybrid advanced industry facility or something like that on any other planet that isn't a temperate, but that's only for Tech 4s. So we only have to go to Tech 3 for our stuff so far. But yeah, keep that in mind. If you want to go all the way down the chain to T4, you have to be on a temperate planet. Now, these advanced facilities are a little bit more expensive, so I'm not actually going to build that right now. I want to put in another extractor, so I'm going to upgrade the facility one more time. That's another $1 million. And I'm going to build another extractor control unit. Pop it in here. Give myself a link. Submit it. Now, I have 2 extractors. I should probably get rid of this industry facility because I don't really need it. I just want to show you guys how to do it. Now, the biggest thing is that you're going to have to do is put in a launch pad. Now, these launch pads are going to use pretty much an entire level of the power upgrade on their own, and they cost $1 million flat. So you're going to have to think about that. You can set up an extractor and storage setup on the planet without a launch pad, but you're not going to be able to get the stuff off planet. You can get 2 extractors running and a storage facility, and then you can disable one of the reactors and delete it, and then pop in a launch pad if you want without upgrading. But that's just gonna, I mean, if you do that 2 or 3 times, it's gonna cost you more than it costs to fucking upgrade it. So you're gonna need to be at least at level 2 if you're gonna want a launch pad, because you can't build a extractor, storage facility, and launch pad with a level 1. And you need at least those 3. Or you're going to want at least those 3. You can technically make do with getting rid of the extractor, but you're going to spend $1 million every time to build the launch pad, and it only costs $500,000 to upgrade the command center, so it's kind of pointless. But yeah, so at this rate, I have some suspended plasma coming in. I'm also going to start another one for... we need non-CS crystals, so I'm going to do as many extractors as I can. See, I can only do 4 here. That's the big power grid requirement, are these extractors. It's really kind of difficult to run 2 extractors and a launch pad and a storage facility, and then to start doing industry on top. You see what I was saying earlier? Like, you can throw industry factories in here, but it's going to mean I can only use 1 or 2 of these nodes, which is really going to affect how much I'm pulling in. So it's better to just use extractor planets and then to throw it all onto a manufacturing planet. But here I can get 4 of these nodes in without upgrading it again, which is good enough. Good enough for the idea of pulling in 2 different resources. If I wanted to do 1 resource, I would just use 1 extractor and fill it all the way up. You could instead of using 2 of these, you could just do all 10 nodes on 1. But that limits you to only 1 resource at a time, so you kind of play with what you need, what you want, how long you're willing to let them sit. Make sure that when you're doing extractions, these aren't overlapping. When the circles overlap, you'll see here it affects the output by a certain percentage. You're going to want to make sure they spread out. And you want to pay attention to the fact that when you do this, you do drain the resources. So eventually the planet will run dry, and you'll have to move the entire setup or change it from an extraction setup to a manufacturing setup. Other than that, once you get the products, I could show you guys how to sell them, or not sell them, export them. God damn it. There we go. Route. Okay. So at this stage, 2 extractors go into storage. When it's done with the storage, I will try and show you guys how to pop it back. Now you can see here on this bottom thing, it shows that I'm extracting those 2 resources, and when it's done, it will show that I'm storing them. Up here, it shows what you're building, what you're storing. Now, once you get some resources in your storage hangar, it's going to look like this. It's going to have some stuff in it. You're going to want to do an expedited transfer. That's the way you move things that are already in a storage facility. You cannot create standard routes to move things continually from storage container to storage container. You can do that from storage container to factory. So you can set up a continuous supply chain from things like factories to containers or extractors to factories and stuff like that. But if you're going to do a storage to storage move, you have to use a transfer, which you can only do once every 5 hours. So you have to kind of plan those ahead. But you will select the transfer destination, which is going to be the launch pad. It's going to pull up this screen. You're going to add the items to the transfer and execute it, which now uses the transfer for this thing. Watch, in 4 hours and 17 minutes, I can transfer from the storage facility again. But I can now transfer. You can do that for every one of them, so everyone gets its own transfer. I could do it from here. If I had another one, I could do it from there. But once you get it into the launch pad, you're going to want to launch it. This is where the cost comes in. So you have to be in the same system as this to do it, first of all. And then you're going to drag the items over to the orbital customs office, which is the structure that's orbiting the outside of the planet, which is where you're going to go to pick this shit up. And it's going to, depending on your skills, charge you roughly 10% of the value of the items. It might be more like 5%. I don't remember. I've worked on those skills. But for these 2 Tech 1 resources, no, actually these are 2 raw resources. This is about 5,000 meters cubed of it, roughly 536,000 of them. It cost me $500,000 to get them off. So you can see that is an expense you have to take into account if you're doing a multi-planet setup rather than setting factories here. Every time you set a factory here and save yourself the export costs, you're saving money. But if you have to export, I mean, you're going to have to export eventually, so I've chosen to save the efficiency on what I'm getting out of this planet rather than saving myself the cost of having to export one extra time. That's up to you. But once you get it launched, it's going to be in the customs office. So you're going to exit the planetary industry at this point. You're going to right click on the planet you're looking for. In this case, it's 1, Lava 5. Wait, no, what is it? It's not Lava 5. What planet is that? Oh, it's just Yormold 1. Either way, if you're going to find it over here, or if you're going to find it, the easiest way to find it for me is inside the planetary industry. You're going to warp to within 0 meters of the customs office.
Warp drive.
That's how you pick the stuff up. Once you get there, you're just going to transfer from the customs office to your inventory. Obviously, I can't do it because I'm not within 2,500 meters of the CO. So once you get there, you pop that stuff in, you bring it home. Easy as that. Alright, that was the longest explanation of a video that was supposed to be 5 minutes, but as far as I can tell, that should cover everything. Any other questions we will answer in game. Yeah, again, that setup went through looking for them, scanning them, deciding where to plant it, basic setup, costs, exports. The biggest thing is going to be recipes. It's really hard to really kind of wrap your mind around some of the numbers with this shit. It just gets so fucking obscure that, like, there's just so many access customs office here. There's just so many inputs on some of this tier 4 stuff that it can break your brain. But if you just kind of start with a couple simple things, keep it simple, don't get too overwhelmed. You just have to make sure that you're keeping in mind the recipe you're using and kind of do a setup like I did, where you bring out a general list of everything you're going to need, up to the entire supply chain, depending on what you're building. So that way you don't accidentally just build up a 3-week supply of something that's like one of these where you need all 10 of them. I've done that before where I thought I had my stuff set up and I just didn't pay attention to it and came back and I had like way too much of this stuff of one of these items, and it cost me so much to get it off the planet that it wasn't even worth exporting. It was just kind of a waste of time and money. So you want to make sure that if you're doing a recipe, you're kind of keeping a watch on all the inputs and making sure you're keeping it even. But other than that, man, I can't really think of anything else. Yeah, if you want to export items back onto the planet, it's a little cheaper than, if you want to import items back onto the planet, it's half of the price. So if I were to put those same two things back on, it's just the entire process in reverse. It's only $281, but if I were to take them off, it's $500. So the exports cost a little more. The imports aren't as expensive, but for that, this is enough to make a pretty good amount of the 2 items that we need with those 2 raw resources. That's probably a few days worth of production. All of this stuff pays for itself in the end with a good profit margin, but it cost me $750,000 to get those 2 resources in and out of the planet, and that is 2 of 16, I think, when you're building T3s by yourself. Yeah, these are all T1s, and there's 4. No, that's more like, there's more like 20 different raw resources that go into it. Unless it's right here, what's it say? Yeah, this is the T2 requirement. Oh, you can't read that. These are all the T1 requirements that are needed to build one mobile depot. Each one of these has its own raw resource, so none of them overlap as far as I know. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different raw resources you have to source. Some of them are more, some of them are less. Like I said, some of this stuff overlaps, so the recipes have some overlap. But yeah, other than that, if you have any other questions, just hit one of us up and we will be happy to explain it. Peace.